From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Hello everyone and welcome to Local Point. I'm your host, David Gale, and for Chris Piner today. On today's show, we'd like to welcome Greg Stensgard, you may know him, as well as Bill Sivert from Uintah High School, who are here to discuss the Tournament of Champions and Uintah Athletics. Welcome, guys. Appreciate you coming today.
We appreciate you inviting us here.
Of course. So, Tournament of Champions. What I have to admit, we were talking just beforehand. When I moved here to Vernal, I can't tell you how many times I've heard the name Greg Stensgard, and what an amazing job he has done here with athletics, wrestling in particular. But I've never heard of the Tournament of Champions. What exactly is this?
The Tournament of Champions, it's probably the oldest running tournament in the country, at least in the West.
Okay.
This is our 44th year of the Tournament of Champions. Obviously, I haven't been here all 44 years. I might look old enough. Not quite. But I've been here. This is my 23rd year at Uintah High School. So, and the Tournament of Champions is now one of the bigger tournaments in the West as well. When I first moved here, it was a smaller tournament. It was held at the high school. And what we did was working with the Western Park and Dirk Hatch and all the people to run that entity, we were able to move the tournament over there where we have 8 mats on the floor at one time. And so we were able to run a much bigger format. And so now we're at, some of the weight classes all weight classes are 32-man format, but there's a few weight classes that we have more than 32 men in a tournament. So, and we're able to do that and still get it in a day and a half.
Okay, so just to be clear, it's a wrestling.
It's a wrestling tournament.
Yep. For high school students.
For high school students, yes.
And it started here in Uintah.
At Uintah High School, yeah. It was called the Tournament Champions because the best teams from the Colorado and Wyoming and Utah kind of came together. 8, 10 teams, 12 teams, whatever. Okay. And they would wrestle one another which was called the Tournament of Champions. And originally, when I got my information from Ed Johnson, who was obviously here when it all started and began. So, but we're still excited about it being the Tournament Champions. We get the best. We feel the best teams from Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah now. And this year we have 31 teams attending this year, and we have several JV members that will be from other teams, like top people who may not be quite enough to win on a varsity team, but placed in the state tournament last year. So we put the best of everybody's team into the Tournament Champions to find out who the best wrestler at each weight class is.
You said 31 teams?
31 teams, 31 full teams. And then we'll have 12 JV teams here as well. And we also host a JV tournament on the first day. And, and it's kind of putting 3 tournaments together, what we end up doing. The first day we have starting of our Tournament of Champions, and we run 6 rounds of that. We run 3 consolation, 3 championship. So we run through the quarterfinals on day 1. And then during that, we have 2 mats that'll run all day long, just JV matches. So all the kids aren't quite to the next level, to the varsity tournament, they get to come in and bring their kids along. They get to watch a good varsity tournament, be part of it a little bit, and experience some of the, what goes on in a big tournament like this. And then on the second day, our varsity tournament continues on. But what we do is something special that no other tournament does, that we call our second chance tournament. Anybody that's knocked out of the varsity tournament and all the JV members are put into another tournament that begins on Saturday morning.
Oh, so they don't have to be just done with it. They've got another chance to compete.
If you got knocked out of the tournament, you're not done wrestling. You get more opportunities to learn how to wrestle by being on the mat. So we make sure kids get a lot of opportunities to wrestle. And we wrestle for matches, not for medals in some cases, because we don't give out medals for our JV tournament or second chance tournament, but they do get a lot of chances to wrestle. So every kid has to perform the second day. It's not like sometimes when you get kids knocked out of a tournament, they loses focus. And
they're just spectators now.
Yeah, they're spectators, and they're running around. This way, that doesn't happen with our tournament. Everybody wrestles the second day, and we keep those 8 matches going all day long until the finals start at 5 o'clock on Saturday.
So how many total days are you? 1, 2, is the Saturday a third day, or is that the second day? No,
Saturday's the second day.
There's a second day. So it's just 2 days long.
Just 2 days. We will start wrestling on Friday, January 8th at 2:30. and then we will wrestle till 9:30 approximately, and then everyone will haul out, go get something to eat, and get their kids in their beds, and they'll come back the next morning. And varsity teams will have to weigh in. Those are still in the varsity tournament, the true Tournament of Champions. We'll have to weigh in it on the Saturday morning, and then we'll start wrestling at 9 o'clock. And on the back 4 mats will be all our second chance tournament. So all those kids will probably get in there 3 to 5 matches the next day.
How many? 31 teams. How many kids are there wrestling?
520 kids approximately will be here.
And then you've got a lot of support that shows up as well, right?
Oh, I mean, to run this tournament, obviously, I can't do it by myself by any means. We have so many people that do different parts of it, things that's to help us orchestrate this tournament. It's a big overtaking of a lot of different things, using the high school, obviously with Bill and what he does for me. I mean, so he does all the things, there's the school things I need at the school, like monitors and projectors and laptops that the information shot to each of the laptops, so we have the matches up, and so we run which is not a new phase anymore, but when we brought this from here, we actually picked it up from when we used to go out to Ohio for one of the biggest tournaments in the country, the Ironman out there, and we brought this guy named Doug here, and he ran.
These days, we all want more speed. And right now at Strata Networks, that's exactly what you're going to get. For a limited time, upgrade your current internet package and get faster speeds at no additional cost for 90 days. That's right. Browse, stream, and download faster with speeds up to 50 megabits per second. Call us today to get your free speed boost. Only from Strata Networks. Restrictions apply. See store for details. Strata Networks. We connect lives.
Welcome back to Local Point. Before the break, we were discussing the Tournament of Champions, which is one of the biggest wrestling matches for somebody who doesn't understand what that means. That's held right here in Vernal. It's put on by Uintah High and Greg and Bill, and it sounds like it's just a huge deal. I'm surprised that even somebody who has no idea about anything about athletics, I haven't heard about it until now, because so many people show up for this thing.
And it's in the newspaper is a big deal. They'll have a big display about it next week, and of course, finals, how it went, and how it ends out, and everything. But like I said, we have teams traveling from far as Denver area to here, Salt Lake area to here, and Minnesota, and Wyoming. We all over Wyoming. A bunch of schools are coming down. So I mean, we have 31 different schools coming to kind of the center of
our little area.
Our little area.
And not only the students, but also, I'm assuming, family and faculty from those schools.
And we have a very good support from all those schools. The schools that travel here have a very good support base. And the Tournament Champions last year in the finals, we had almost 3,000 people in attendance for the finals.
Wow.
And but you had a lot of wrestlers, 500 wrestlers, but I mean, you have a lot of parents that came, they wanted to see the finals, and the finals are a big deal. We make a big deal. They win a plaque that's made by a Dry Fork Saddle, with a beautifully hand-carved plaque that says they're the Tournament Champions champion at that weight class. It's a big deal. And then, of course, beforehand, we have all sorts of things going on. We have the cheerleaders doing their a unique show that they put on, and of course we have the singing of the national anthem and then the introduction of the wrestlers, and then we get down to business and of the finals. And the finals are awesome because there's so many state champions in each weight class from different states, So, and you just never know who's going to be in the finals. And there's some extremely talented kids that some feature people. That Taylor Lamont, who's ranked in the country at like number 3 in the country, he'll be here wrestling at 138. And again, we have several kids I think are legitimate
I was going to say,
front runners as well.
How is the Uintah Basin looking this
The
year?
Uintah Basin, I mean, Duchesne has a lot of good kids. Altamont has good kids. Union has some good kids. For any of us teams, we're going to have to really battle hard to get to the finals. But I got Tucker Tomlinson, a 160 punter. Kedrick Kunis is another one. He's a state champion for us, and he'll be at 132. And we've finally got some kids down to weight classes where they can be real competitive. Cameron Smewn, I think, is going to a really good shot for us to put him in the finals of this tournament at 113 pounds. And again, we got other guys who are just back. Alex Shope, been injured all year. First tournament back at 195. He was ranked 1 in the state, early in the season, but now we'll have to see how he performs after a little bit of time off with the injury. So we're excited about this tournament. We usually wrestle really well here, and for the other schools nearby, it's great for them. They don't have to travel so far. We don't have to travel all the way to Salt Lake City for a tournament like we do every weekend. So I mean, it's a nice thing for the families, and especially Altamont, Duchesne, Roosevelt, Rangely, all those teams. They come in here and they bring their families, and they get to watch some great wrestling.
Yeah, how is the community sport, not sport, but the community support for this? Do you have a lot of people who come out to watch that don't necessarily have kids or friends that are in it?
A lot of ex-wrestlers still attend and everything. If they were a wrestler, if they have kids interested in youth wrestlers and want to see what goes on at a big program, at a big tournament, it's a good opportunity for them to come in and see how it looks. You know, what does a high school tournament look like? I mean, and like I said, it's a big time show, and teams are excited to come. We have a lot of top teams, and I say there's 5-6 teams that will bid for the title. I'm not sure who's going to win it. Well, obviously, we would like to think that we're one of 5-6 teams that will be bidding for it. So.
Yeah. So tell me again, if somebody was interested in coming and watching and being a part of this, when exactly is it happening? Where do they go? Okay, it's at the Western Park. Obviously, I mentioned that earlier, but we're at the Western Park, and it's inside the arena, and they put this plastic sealant along the floor, and we put our mats on top of it, and we wrestle on top of that. And then so they have all the seating on the side, which is, I think they have 3,200 seats available for seating. So I mean, and so we have those seats, and so at 2:30 the wrestling will start on Friday, and that's January
8th. And January 8th, and it will run till we get done with those 6 rounds, and then the next morning we'll start at 9 a.m. And then the semifinals, which will be probably one of the big matches to watch, will be at 10:30. So at 10:30 we'll have our semifinalists wrestling, and then at the rest of the day we'll be finishing up the tournament, and then the finals, where we're going to have the best of the best from the 3 states face off with one another for the 44th running of the tournament champions.
Some great spectating.
And Bill will be one of the people helping orchestrate and run the tournament. When I'm coaching, he'll be in charge of dealing with parents and coaches
and
everything.
Whatever needs to be done.
Great.
Yeah.
Bill, we only got like 30 seconds left, but I'd like to know about the rest of Uintah athletics right now. How are things going?
Well, we're deep into our seasons with boys and girls basketball as well as wrestling. Boys and girls basketball open up their region play this coming week. Girls start Tuesday, that'd be January 5th. We host Salem Hills, and then they play again at home Thursday versus Maple Mountain, and then the boys play. They open up their region play Friday with Maple Mountain here. So we've got, this coming week is Uintah Athletics, so if you don't have anything to do,
always go catch a game.
Yeah, make sure you're there, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate having you.
The last thing I would like to just mention is our big duel with Wasatch, the number 1 ranked team in the state. We'll be here on January 14th.
Okay, big one.
It's a big duel. So if you've never seen a match, you want to come see that one. And if you've seen the matches before, you want to see a great one. Us versus the number 1 team in the state, and we're gonna be ready. So ready to wrestle.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you for letting us come.
Of course, thank you for joining us on this episode of Local Point, and that's all we've got time for today. Be sure to like VTV6 on Facebook for updates on your favorite local programming, and we'll see you here next time.